And the interesting thing here about the Quran is that in 605 pages, we have the guidance for everyone, for all of humanity, for all time, and it never needs to be updated, right? So it doesn't need a revision. So what the guidance that applied in the 7th century when it was revealed applies today. And Muslims have, accepted this guidance and lived by this guidance, at least for some parts. I know there are many Muslims that do not, aren't that great. But in terms of what the teaching is, it applies back then, and it applies today, and it will apply till the day of judgment. And this is why we say that Islam has a certain legitimacy in which, regardless of the societal changes, regardless of personal changes, Islam remains unchanged. And when you can put your life in something that will remain concrete regardless of what happens around you, then you have a solid anchor for which you can hold on to. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, hold on to the rope of Allah. Right? So hold on fast to the rope of Allah. Because if you, for example, today, we know that there are certain things that were illegal 5-10 years ago, and now they are legal today. Now, if you didn't have an anchor to hold on to, you would shift with the times. You would try to be politically correct. You would try to be, try to appease people, no matter who they are, no matter how much you disagree with them, because you want to fit in. And this sense of wanting to fit in sort of takes away who you are. It takes your identity away. So Allah says, don't take your identity away. Hold on to what is concrete and retain your identity, retain your morals, retain your standards. Do not let people tell you what to do. When they tell you what to do, you tell them no. This is what I believe. This is what I have taken. And if you believe in political correctness and freedom of belief and freedom of expression, then you should leave me alone. And leave me to do what I know is to be true, and to do what I know I can evidence to be true. And this is very important. Islam, though it has an element of faith to it, the element of faith is very, very small, because we follow a very logical and evidential based system in order to reach faith. Now, for example, we believe in the angels. Now, there is no way we can ever prove that angels exist. We can never prove that hellfire and paradise exist. We can never prove that the jinn exists, or the devil exists, or God exists, by seeing him or showing some sort of, empirical evidence for that. Why do we attain that faith? Why do we believe in it? It's because we look at the evidence that we have, and we examine the evidence that we have, and if it passes our falsification tests, and it's not just our falsification tests. The interesting thing is that Allah has provided the falsification tests within the Quran. So he actually tells you, he says to you, the people, Muslims and non-Muslims, if you are in doubt, this book is from any other than God. To the Arabs, it was said, they try and bring a chapter like it. Try to produce a chapter like this, with the literary style, with the message, the ability to be memorized, change your life, to be unchangeable throughout the centuries, to have this sort of nature within it, right? And to the non-Arabs, it would be said, find a contradiction or error within it. And if you cannot, then surely know that this is from your Lord. This is from God. So now he's asking you he's not asking you to believe just for that. He's saying test it. And if you have a God that's telling you to test what he's telling you, this is a God that wants you to think. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the first verse that was revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was to read and to recite. Iqra. Read and recite. This is for you to engage your intellect, to read, to understand what is being said to you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions also that we have revealed this Quran in the Arabic language so that you may understand. Now you might say, well, why does it have to be in the Arabic language? I mean, I'm not an Arab. Like, surely this, if he says it's got to be in the Arabic language so that I can understand, then I will never be able to understand it. Well, this is not the case, because, People like Hamza, who have reverted, who do not speak Arabic, have accepted Islam because we have translations of the meaning of the Quran. But why does Allah say about the Arabic language? Why is that so important? It's because the Arabic language is a deep and eloquent language, where one word could have multiple meanings that could apply at the very same time. And for that reason, when you understand the language that it was revealed in, then you understand it in a even more depth, and you get to appreciate it that much more. So it doesn't mean that because you're not an Arab, that's it, all hope is lost. It means that if you really, really, really want to connect with God, you would expand your abilities. You would learn a new language. You'd think deeper, because now you need to learn a new language in order to understand the deeper meanings of things. So everything is geared towards intellectual thought and learning. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always praises those who in the Quran are referred to as ulul albab, the people of intellect. And he refers to the people that do not use their brains as lower than animals, because the difference between us and animals is the intellect, the ability to think, to innovate, to process information, to do all of these things and accept what is true and filter. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says to you in the Quran that this is a clear book, guidance for the believers. Now, what do we mean by clear book? It means that once you ponder upon it, once you take it seriously, then you will realize that clearly this is from no one other than God, and that clearly this is guidance for mankind. So this is an overview, inshallah. And if you have any specific questions, you can ask us, inshallah, and we'll break it down for you. No problem.
Beautiful, bro.
No, that was fantastic. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Here.
So what do you think?
I like the informative bit about the learning the language part to understand it more. It was something intriguing and nice. Yeah, pretty cool.
So I'll be honest with you.
So what do you think?
I've been a Muslim 20 years and I've not learned Arabic. It's not a necessity.
Over 80% of Muslims are not Arab, right? Like I'm an
no, but I was saying about the idea of understanding language.
No, I understand. Yeah, I'm
verbial meaning.
The majority of Muslims
extension. Yeah,
I understand. Yeah, I'm just saying the majority of Muslims don't actually speak Arabic. That's a misconception that a lot of people have.
Yeah, nice.
It's a good question.
Yeah, something I would want to add is that Arabic has like 12.3 million words compared to English. It's like 600K. So yeah, I agree with what he said that it goes deeper in that sense.